Magneto. I'm going to tell you who he is not, because if you've only seen him in the movies, you're probably thinking, oh my God, he's the guy, he controls metal, Adrian. He's like a big magnet. He wears purple and a helmet. He's an old man. He's not just a guy who controls metal. He's not Xavier's boyfriend. Magneto is a motherfucking savage. Magneto was born Max Eisenhardt to a middle-class Jewish family in Germany in the 1920s. We know what happened back in Germany in the 1920s. The Nazi regime, they rose to power, and Max's entire family was executed. Max survived only to be sent to Auschwitz. He was forced to work, I'm gonna fuck this name up, a Sonderkommando, which is a prisoner forced to dispose of bodies of victims from the gas chambers. During his time in these camps, these mutant abilities began to manifest, but not fully. In the beginning, it was small things, like he would subconsciously be able to bend metal tools, but he didn't understand what was happening to him yet. Being in the concentration camp was him witnessing some of the worst fucking acts of humanity.
Right.
He did survive the camp, and he survived along a Romani woman named Magda. They escaped concentration camp together. They decide to try to start a normal life. He changes his name. He starts using the name Magnus. They ended up having a daughter together, Anya. He's working a regular job, trying to take care of his family, just being a model citizen. And of course, the boss cheated Max out of his pay, right? Because that's what bosses do.
Sure.
Max was pissed. He snaps and he uses his powers to launch a fucking crowbar. Terrified the boss. What does the boss do? Reports Max to the KGB. You're a fucking stand-up guy, right?
Yeah.
So that night, Adrian, we've heard about these people before. The angry mob, you know, the pitchfork mob. These bitch-ass motherfuckers, all these locals, you know, they're anti-mutant. Oh my God, he threw the crowbar. Oh, we're gonna get him. Get your pitchforks, get your fucking tiki torches. And they surrounded Max's house and they set that motherfucker on fire. Anya, his daughter, was trapped inside. Max trying to rescue his daughter, but they beat the shit out of him. They restrain him because this ain't Magneto yet.
Right.
So they're beating his ass. He's forced to watch his daughter burn to death. It shattered his mind, but it also shattered the barriers that were holding his powers back. This is where his Omega level magnetism was fully unlocked. He fucking snaps, dude. He takes control of the mob's own pitchforks, their tools, their guns, all that shit, turns their weapons against them, slaughters everybody in seconds. His wife, at the time, is terrified by this. Magda fled the night, but she was secretly pregnant with twins. Max, though, was dead, and Magneto was born. And Magneto spends years wandering the globe, and he eventually adapts the alias Eric Lenscher. He has to hide his identity from these intelligence agencies. He's on the run. During this time, he had a little affair with an American woman named Susanna Dane, who we've talked about her before because she gives birth to a daughter, Lorna Dane, Polaris. Now let's talk about when he met this motherfucker, Charles Xavier, Adrian. So in the 50s, Eric was working at a psychiatric hospital for Holocaust survivors in Israel. And he met a young Charles Xavier. They bonded instantly, Adrian. Charles was shopping for a blanket, and he grabbed the blanket that Magneto was trying to buy.
And their hands touched?
Their hands touched. That was it. They locked eyes, and he's like, oh my God, it's my blanket, not your blanket. So the origin of the blanket, Magneto helped him, right? He bought him the blanket. It was a gesture of friendship almost. You might want to fact check all of that. So they bonded, Adrian. They have a lot in common, and they spend weeks debating things, genetics, evolution, humanity, all over games of chess. But neither one knew the other was a mutant. Now, this hospital that they worked at, though, was attacked, Adrian. It's comics, right? So it was attacked
of course,
by this bitch-ass Baron von Strucker. Yes.
That motherfucker.
The neo-Nazi Hydra force, they attacked the hospital because they were looking for a secret cache of hidden Nazi gold. Because that's where you would hide your Nazi gold, at the hospital.
Sure.
Right? They attack. Xavier and Magneto team up. They reveal their powers to each other for the first time, and they defeat Strucker's bitch ass. Xavier wants to hand Strucker over to the authorities, and he wants to trust the justice system. Sounds like Matt Murdock here. And what does Magneto want to do? Get rid of this motherfucker. Magneto realizes that Xavier's dream of peaceful coexistence, in his opinion, is a naive fantasy. So what does he do? He takes the gold for himself, Adrian. He leaves Xavier behind. Xavier takes his fucking blanket and rolls home. This is where he kind of drew the line between them. He bounces to create his own mutant army. But let's talk about the powers here. The power set of Magneto, I think it's one of the things people get wrong so much in the movies and as fans. They think he's just some gray-haired dude that can move metal. And he's not. Magneto is the master of motherfucking magnetism, Adrian. He's an Omega level mutant. We got to look past just the metal stuff. He commands the electromagnetic force, one of the 4 fundamental forces of the entire universe. And there's no known upper limit to his control over the electromagnetic spectrum. So what are you trying to say? He's a badass motherfucker. You don't fuck with this guy.
And the electromagnetic spectrum is composed of more than just the magnetism part.
Correct. The electromagnetic force is literally what binds atoms and molecules together. So we're talking at the molecular level here. He can manipulate those fields. Magneto can control non-magnetic materials like wood, stone, or plastic by interacting with their atomic bonds. We're getting fucking really sciencey today, Adrian. He can alter the chemical structure of matter at will. He can turn solid rock to dust. He can completely reshape the physical environment without a single ounce of metal present. No metal. We're talking about, he's not metal, he's a magnet man. No, he's not. He's not Magnet Man. He's Magneto. He can also control your body in a lot of ways. Our bodies operate on bioelectricity. Magneto can manipulate these bioelectric fields to shut down someone's mind. He can completely paralyze them. He can visually perceive the bioelectric aura of a living being. He doesn't see like you and I.
So therefore, Sue Storm is visible, still in her invisible state, is still visible to him. I would think so. Right?
Based off of how that reads, that would make sense. He can track his enemies in pitch darkness because of this. He can also rip iron out of your bloodstream. He can alter the flow of blood to the brain. He can induce sleep. He can alter your mood. He can cause an instant aneurysm. He commands visible light. He can bend light around his body to make himself pretty much invisible. Radio waves, microwaves. He can make your fucking popcorn for you right on the table. X-rays, ultraviolet radiation. He can jam global communications. He can hack satellite networks. He can reverse Earth's magnetic poles. He can pull asteroids from deep space into our orbit. We've seen this. And then he can generate electromagnetic pulses, EMPs, strong enough to shut down the entire planet's power grid. We've seen this in X-Men 97. He didn't even get dressed for that shit. He's like, I'm gonna go up here in my fucking tighty whities and do this, motherfucker. His force fields, they're actually bubbles, hyper-dense bubbles of pure electromagnetic energy. They can withstand nuclear detonations. They can withstand cosmic rays, direct hits from Thor, Iron Man, Cyclops. The Fox movies, I think, completely nerfed him. I'm going to talk about 2 specific scenes that I think are awesome scenes, but they make no sense. On X2, remember Magneto is in a plastic prison? Plastic and glass prison. Okay. There are electromagnetic bonds in all those atoms. The plastic, the glass. He first of all could turn all that shit to dust if he wanted to.
I think the phrase is destabilize the atoms so they kind of like fall apart.
He can do that to the glass, to the plastic.
Anything.
Do it to your fucking hat. Remember how he got out of the prison in the movie? Mystique injected a guard with liquid iron, and Magneto, he picked up on it. But he wouldn't need that, dude. Now, it made for a much more dramatic exit and a much more brutal scene where he's pulling the blood out of this guy's body and making metal pancakes to float on. Remember, he's walking out like, there was aura, dude. He's walking out with his arms like this. He's got the metal balls going around him and fucking shooting them. You wouldn't have been able to hold him in a plastic prison. Then you have Days of Future Past, the Pentagon. Remember, he's in the bunker in the Pentagon and Quicksilver helps break him out and all that shit. He's hundreds of feet underground in a concrete room. No metal. I'm also curious to how you got all this concrete down there, no rebar. But that's just a construction guy in me. Sure. He's permanently connected to Earth's electromagnetic field. So he could just pull on the Earth's poles to crack the fucking Pentagon open from the inside.
Sure.
He could generate an EMP locally and fry all their cameras. He could bend light to turn invisible and walk right out of the fucking door without these motherfuckers seeing him. So as cool as that was, the breakout, when it comes to Magneto, he's too powerful for you regular ass, human bitch ass motherfuckers to hold in any kind of prison. You're not putting him in jail. You either fucking kill him or leave him alone. That's it. Let's get back to the comics. He debuted as the X-Men's very first villain back in the 60s, forming the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Initially, it was Wanda and Pietro. Now, I'm going to tell you something about my deep dives, Adrian. I'm giving you my story. In my story, Wanda and Pietro are his kids. Sure. I don't like the retcon they did where they were, experimented on by the high evolutionary and they're not mutants. They were given their powers and they're not his real kids. So in my story, those are his kids. You don't like that? Watch somebody else's shit. So he establishes this group for mutant superiority. That is one of the biggest differences between Magneto and Charles Xavier. Charles believes in equality. We are equal with humans. Mutants, I say we because we're mutants, right? So Charles thinks we can coexist, Adrian. Based off of history, do you think mutants and humans can coexist?
No.
No. Magneto doesn't think so either. He thinks, fuck them humans. We are superior. We are a superior race to them. So what does Magneto do? The Hydra gold that he took, he builds Asteroid M. It's this heavily armed asteroid that is in the Earth's atmosphere, and it is meant to serve as a sanctuary exclusively for mutants because he refuses to share the planet with these motherfuckers at this point. And he actually realizes that early on in the 80s that some of his methods are a little violent, maybe even terrorist, in a way. All he's doing is making humans hate mutants more. So he surrenders. He surrenders to the World Court in Paris and he stands trial. Now, during the trial, of course, some terrorists attack and Xavier pushes himself to the brink of death, Adrian. He saves the courtroom, but he's damn near dead. Where does he go to heal? Outer space. He's probably looking for fucking Lalandra or something. I don't know. But he makes Magneto promise to take over his dream. He gave him his blanket. He lended it to him. He said, take care of this blanket. There's a lint brush in my top drawer because it does collect lint. But he also asked him to take over as headmaster of the X-Men and mentoring the New Mutants. Magneto takes over, dude. He's the guy in charge now. So he went from being their biggest adversary to now their teacher. This time for him, though, was also traumatic. Some of his young students, Cypher being one of them, were killed in action. It fucks with him, dude. He falls back on the other side again. He becomes convinced that Xavier's a pacifist. His ideology is getting these innocent mutant children killed. That forced him to abandon the school and go back to being an extremist on the other side. He said, fuck the kids, fuck the school, shove the school up your ass, Chuck, I'm out. I think that's verbatim what he may have said. You might want to fact check that too. So in the 90s, Magneto builds a new orbital base called Avalon, and the UN decides that he can't do that, and they activate a satellite network that is designed to alter the Earth's magnetic field to prevent him from using his powers. There's a theme here. Don't fuck with Magneto. He retaliates. What does he do? He unleashes a massive global EMP that cripples the Earth, dude. Fucking power's out. Oh my God, everything's falling apart. And Xavier decides to lead a strike team onto Avalon to stop him. There's a brutal fight. Wolverine stabs this motherfucker right through the chest. And in response to that, Magneto pushes his powers to the limit and he rips out every single fucking molecule of adamantium right out of Wolverine's skeleton through his pores, nearly kills him. Again, don't fuck with Magneto.
Right.
This was traumatic for Xavier because Wolverine's one of his students. Xavier witnesses this, and this pushes him to cross his line. He uses his telepathy to completely wipe Magneto's mind, leaves him in a vegetative state, dude. This psychic attack is actually the catalyst for Onslaught. There's a whole deep dive on that.
Right.
Check that out if you haven't. Magneto is then cared for by his acolytes because, dude, Magneto always has people around him.
Sure.
He's a leader. These acolytes, they're keeping him in the shadows, letting him heal for years. He does eventually return, and he strong arms the UN into giving him the island nation of Genosha. He builds a mutant society of 16 million people, dude, a thriving society. And unfortunately, we all know what happens at Genosha. This stupid bald bitch, Cassandra Nova, she unleashes these wild sentinels on the island and she slaughters damn near 16 million mutants in fucking minutes. Magneto barely survives himself. Then we fast forward to another tragedy, Adrian. His daughter, Scarlet Witch. She's, oh my God, she's unstable. My kids, are they dead? Are they not? I'm gonna rewrite the whole reality. She creates a world where mutants are the ruling class, and Magneto rules this mutant empire from Genosha. Then Magneto realizes that Quicksilver manipulated Wanda into doing this, and it's all not real. Like any father would do, he beat his son to death when he realized he manipulated his sister. Wanda's devastated. What she does is resurrects her brother, and she utters the famous 3 words, no more mutants, depowers 99% of the mutant population, including Magneto. I'll show you, bitch. Now, the High Evolutionary, another motherfucker here. The High Evolutionary helps Magneto regain his powers. Magneto then does something that may sound out of character, but he seeks out Cyclops. At this point, Cyclops is leading the surviving mutants on the island of Utopia, and Magneto literally drops to his knees in front of Cyclops, not in the way Xavier would want him to.
Right.
He admits that Cyclops has achieved the unity and the survival for mutants that Magneto has actually failed to build. And he pledged his absolute loyalty to Scott Summers. He's a fucking game-recognized game. He acts as Cyclops' enforcer in a lot of ways. He's his right-hand man through Avengers vs. X-Men, through that whole war. He supports Cyclops' militant stance up until the point where Scott gets corrupted by the Phoenix Force and Scott goes too far. I mean, he kills Xavier in this, so he had his back until he went too crazy.
Right.
Fast forward, the Krakoan era. Mutants have this sovereign island, this nation of Krakoa, and Magneto finally gets his sanctuary, dude. He serves as a founding leader on the Quiet Council along Xavier and Apocalypse of all people.
Damn.
Yes. One of his greatest feats in the comics is he works with a team of Omega level mutants, Storm being one of them. She played a massive role in this, and they completely terraformed the planet Mars in a single afternoon. They renamed it Araco or Erico, some shit like that. They claimed the planet as a new mutant homeworld and officially declared mutants the dominant species of the solar system. Then Magneto does die in the comics, though, Adrian. He's in this brutal battle with this guy, Uranos. He literally punches a hole through Magneto's chest. He rips out his heart. Magneto's unfazed. He uses his own powers to manually pump his blood through his veins, keeping himself alive long enough to win, but then eventually dies.
Sure.
A hero's death. Ain't that some shit? You pumped your own blood just to make sure you finish this motherfucker. But then, of course, mutant kind's facing absolute extinction in the Fall of X. And then Storm journeys into the afterlife, pulls his soul back, resurrecting him for one last war. But that is motherfucking Magneto, Adrian. A GOAT, a hell of a leader, and someone that I hope we get another awesome version in, this next series of movies.